Well, I mean, right off the back, you came into the Federation and you got right involved with Remembrance. And were you expecting to be put to work so quickly?
No, I really wasn't. It was a bit of a surprise, but, you know, with being in my kind of business, you get used to some quick jobs, and, I mean, obviously, bounty hunters, you're used to being on the move, so don't always have to do so much packing.
Well, unfortunately for you, I mean, you got the tough draw. I mean, your very first match against Psycho McCullough.
An RCW original.
Yeah, and we love originals.
Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I know there was a lot of talk with, you know, him being a veteran and me being, you know, my rookie first match. I know there was a lot of talk and saying, you know, I wouldn't be able to meet up with the standards of the RCW, and I was just some new guy that wouldn't be able to do anything. But I think things proved a little bit differently.
Well, forgive me for saying this, but you won by disqualification. That hardly classifies as a win in my book.
I may have won by disqualification, but if you watch that match, it's clear to see who the winner was gonna be.
I'm gonna agree, just for the sole fact that I'm sitting so close to the man.
Are you terrified of him?
I am a little bit scared. I'm gonna make a suggestion right now. I think we should stick to the phone interviews for the rest of our careers here.
Well, I'm not terrified of the man. I mean, there's a little bit of distance between us, but I mean, you carry around a toy lightsaber to the ring. I mean, why should I be scared of that?
You shouldn't be scared of the lightsaber. You should just be scared of the light. Listen, you look back into that match, and it's been obviously a dominating match. You can't tell me there was a point in time where it was honestly looking like he was going to win. He had a little bit of upsets in there, but for the most part, I don't think I even was on my back for a 1 count when I had him multiple times on his back, pinned.
Oh, all right. I mean, I did watch the tape again, and I that's true. I mean, you were never pinned for a 3 count, obviously.
Obviously. Well, that lightsaber that you're just looking down so much on, toys may be toys, but in the hands of the right people, they can do a massive amount of damage.
Well, speaking of a massive amount of damage, I mean, how's your head? I mean, McCullough, he clobbered you with that steel chair.
Yeah, it hurt a little bit, I won't lie. It was a bit of a blind shot to me, and I didn't see it coming, but, you know, I had a little bit of a headache for that night, but you relax, just take a little bit of time off, get some Advil, couple of women to spend the night with, and all kinds of pains go away.
That's usually what I do.
But you always wrap your tool, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Otherwise, you'd be no better than 40 ounce.
Exactly. But there were a couple mishaps, just for the simple fact that I do have 2 children.
Well, everyone has an
It's all right. I got about 5 children myself. Don't know where they are, though, but we won't talk about
none of them
that.
are in your hometown?
No, not so much. A lot of wandering, so I really don't know where exactly they are anymore.
Do you go home to Clayhatchee at all?
Not too often. A lot of people in the town knowing who I was, you know, it's a nice hometown kind of place, you know, just homey living, and they aren't so much up for this, you know, bounty hunting and coming down on people and just laying down the law as I see it, but they're a different kind of living in that town.
Well, let's move on. Let's go back to wrestling. After the match, you went backstage, had a couple words with Jake Adonis, correct?
Yeah.
You demanded a rematch against McCullough. Why would you do that after what happened?
Well, to me, I saw it as if he's going to play these dirty tricks and he's going to be coming with chair shots and getting himself disqualified out of the match. And if he wants to bring weapons into the fight, we'll bring weapons in. There's no sense in having a fight and just getting yourself disqualified out of it. If he wants to fight, then let's fight.
I would really love to see it. That's a problem I've noticed in RCW lately. You're getting a lot of DQs, a lot of countouts. Renegade Royale, both matches in a countout. I want to see some more clear-cut winners. I want to get back I never thought I would say this. I'd like to get back to the old RCW days where every match had some kind of crazy stipulation. You had every match was a hardcore match or a ladder match with absolutely nothing to grab or a casket match.
A lightsaber on a pole match.
And what would the rules of that be? Just regular rules?
Typical rules. Get that lightsaber up above the ring. Whoever gets it's got free reign to be wailing on people.
So that would be your match of preference if you were to do a match?
Yes, it would be.
Who on the RCW roster would you most love to face?
Well, I've been reading a little bit about people, but there's some characters that are pretty interesting. 40 Ounce, he's got some real interesting stuff going on. We'll just leave it at interesting. I don't think you guys are necessarily a fan so much. I did hear the last segment that started with simply fuck 40, so I'm not going to go and say anything on here about that, but there's been some people, and obviously this Blaze character I'm going to be fighting, well, he seems to be connecting up with this group, and there seems to be some characters in there. I'm a little bit worried that, they're going to be trying to interfere with what's going on.
Now, this group that you refer to, James the Fire Blaze, is now the newest member of the Axis of Anarchy. What do you think that they could get involved with your match on Sunday?
I wouldn't see it being, out of the question. If the man's the newest member, usually you bring him in for some kind of reason. Now, Tom Cini did say that it was simply going to be a tryout, which makes me think that maybe he won't interfere, let me have the match, and we can do this, mano-y-mano. But there's no telling what could happen. I'm not going to be, not going to be expecting it to not happen.
So, are you a man who likes to ride on his own, or are you looking to join one of these RCW factions in the near future?
Would you join a faction? Would you make a tag team?
It would depend. I mean, I'd be willing to if the right person came along, but as a bounty hunter, you typically try to stay solo, just because in bounty hunting, any day someone else could call you out, and you don't want to be in the weak situation for that to happen. But with a trusted enough friend, I mean, you can always get a good group getting together. If somebody had some kind of interest, I mean, I'd definitely be willing to check it out.
Obviously, you like the ladies. What would you say to teaming up with Twice Nightly?
Well, that could work out. Twice Nightly is a rather large fellow, definitely someone that would be a good person to work with. He's definitely got credibility. He's definitely, definitely a big guy and a good fighter and good wrestler. And I mean, having someone like that to help you out, someone who, knows this business, could be a lot of help for someone like me, a new upcomer.
Where do you see yourself in a month?
In a month, it's a little hard to say. I mean, that's such a close time, being what the RCW is going to give me. I mean, I'd like to be some kind of champion, obviously. You don't go into somewhere and not plan to make it to any kind of peak. But if I had to say anywhere indefinitely, I just hope to keep on winning, get into the main picture, earn the respect of some of these people, so that, I can get my credibility working up in here. I know I'm new to the place, I'm a new face, so a lot of people don't know me. Get my name out there and get some good respect.
Well, you have a great chance to do so this week, against Blaze. If you win, you could definitely be in a title picture, but Blaze, he's 1-0 himself, and this is a submission singles match. How do you prepare for that?
Well, a submission match, it's a little bit difficult for me. It's not necessarily my style. I'm typically just, like I've said, I come from fighting on the streets, and typically in that, you're not going to be putting someone in submission moves, trying to, make them tap out. You're just knocking them unconscious. But, for this type of thing, I have done a little bit of research. I picked up a move I like to call the hyperlock. Now, most people in normal wrestling will know it's just the torture rack, so I had some people train me on that so I can learn to do that. If you know about Blaze, he does have some history of, some shattered ribs. However you shatter a rib, I don't know, but apparently he's had it in the past, and that's definitely a move that's going to work on that kind of section.
I'm definitely looking forward to this match. It's the bounty hunter versus the best-selling author. Jesse the Light versus James Blaze. I think it should be probably not a technical classic, if you will, but for anybody looking forward to seeing a fight, I think it's going to be a good one.
I think so too, and I'm gonna pick you to go out on top. No, I can't say the same for Steve over here, but
well,
I'm not gonna pick against the guy when he's sitting right here.
Well, I'm gonna thank you for your honest support, Lisa. I'll thank you for your support, even if it isn't honest. I'll take it. I don't mind.
No, I would pick you.
That's good to hear.
Well, thank you for joining us, and good luck against James the Fire Blaze and
thank
the rest
you.
of your future in RCW.
Thank you very much.
Well, thanks again to Jesse the Light Cameron for joining us, and let's jump right into Showdown 30.